Parishioners mourn the tragic deaths of two Catholic priests who went fishing yesterday and drowned.
As the nation observes the 60th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor, New Orleanians honor those who fought in the Pacific.
And we'll take you live to the Dome with highlights from the Prep State Championships.
Nightwatch starts right after the lottery.
Good evening and welcome to the Louisiana Lottery Show. Here are tonight's winning numbers. Play Power Play, the new Louisiana Powerball $1 feature. You can multiply your winnings up to 5 times. Must be at least 21 to purchase. Thank you for tuning in and playing. Don't forget to pick up your tickets for tomorrow night's drawings. All drawings are witnessed by legislative auditors.
WWL-TV, Channel 4, New Orleans. This is Louisiana's news leader. Channel 4's Eyewitness News.
Good evening, I'm Karen Swensen.
And I'm Dennis Woltering. Parishioners of 2 St. Charles Parish churches are in mourning tonight after a tragic fishing accident claimed the lives of 2 Catholic priests.
The bodies of Monsignor John Phuc and Father Benedict Quang were discovered late this afternoon just yards away from their boat in South Lafourche Parish. Josh McElveen has more on the story.
Ordinarily, it's a Friday night mass conducted by Monsignor John Phuc. Instead, it was a message of sorrow and condolence from the Archdiocese of New Orleans.
I realize how difficult it is for us to understand and embrace such an unexpected and shocking tragedy.
The bodies of Monsignor Phuc and Father Benedict Quang were located late this afternoon in the waters near Golden Meadow. The men were best of friends, brought together by 2 common bonds, an unwavering faith and a love of fishing.
Very good friendship, and the only time that can really relax from their hectic schedules is to go fishing together.
As the small boat was towed to dock, the news of the tragedy had already spread, and many parishioners made the trip to Golden Meadow.
There's been a lot of support from the church and from the community that they come from. I understand they were much loved priests, and you know, it's a shame to lose them.
After each body was recovered, a small service took place inside of the dockside warehouse. But by nightfall, those same people could be found at St. Charles Borromeo Parish, the place where the spiritual leaders first became friends.
Our faith gives us every reason to believe that he and Father Quang are safe.
At this point, investigators have not determined what went wrong aboard that small fishing boat. But the belief is one man died while trying to save the life of his friend. Tragically, both were lost. And tonight, a community mourns. In Destrehan, Josh McElveen, Channel 4 Eyewitness News Nightwatch.
Monsignor Phuc was appointed pastor at St. Charles Borromeo in 1990, while Father Quang has served as pastor of St. Gertrude Parish in Des Allemands since January 2000.
New Orleans police say they now believe foul play is to blame for the disappearance of 3 missing children. Investigators have issued an arrest warrant for the woman who says who was last seen with 18-year-old Lakendra Burgess. Her nickname is Kizzie. She's an acquaintance of the children's mother and is accused of simple kidnapping. Police now say Burgess and the 3 children were last seen getting into a blue Geo Prism in the 2800 block of Dryads. 2 men were also in the car. Here's another look at the children. They are 2-year-old Melvin Grant, 3-year-old Melvian Grant, and 4-year-old Key Grant. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 822-1111.
The westbound lanes of the I-10 are shut down near LaPlace tonight, and state police say it could be 5:30 to 7:30 tomorrow morning before the interstate is reopened. Authorities are trying to clear an overturned 18-wheeler carrying a crane. Hazmat crews are also working to clean up about 1,000 gallons of diesel and hydraulic fluid. The truck driver is being treated for moderate injuries. All traffic is being redirected to Airline Highway.
Former President George Bush led a procession of dignitaries who dedicated the new Pacific Wing of the National D-Day Museum in New Orleans today. The event on Pearl Harbor Day kicked off 3 days of observances, including a parade that wound through the central business district. It was a marching celebration of victory 60 years after World War II. a parade that offered members of every branch of the armed forces, a total of 110 units, and truckloads of veterans, including more than a dozen Medal of Honor winners, many with horrifying memories of deadly battles and buddies who didn't make it home alive.
There's a lot of them over there, still over there. I wish they'd be here today, but them's the heroes over there, not here, over there. That's all my buddies, all over there.
It was really frightening because you didn't know what you were going into.
And reenactors helped bring history alive. They marched in historically accurate uniforms with bedrolls, canteens, rifles, and machine guns. They rode in jeeps, half-tracks, and tanks. It was a moving tribute to those who served, sacrificed, and those who died.
They sacrificed everything so we can be free like we are today.
Earlier, former President Bush was among those dedicating the new Pacific Wing of the National D-Day Museum.
I want to thank Steve Ambrose for his vision. I was the president who they kind of teased about the vision thing, but here's a man who had a vision, with the help of the great citizens of New Orleans and people nationwide who brought that to reality.
A big part of the day's drama unfolded at the convention center. World War II veterans were meeting to share stories, renew friendships at an event called A Gathering of Eagles.
I think it's very proud. It looks pretty sharp.
Colonel Mitchell Page won the Congressional Medal of Honor. In 1942, his Marine platoon confronted overwhelming odds. They held off the Japanese in vicious hand-to-hand combat.
When the first wave of fixed bayonets Japanese, some 2,500, hit my line, my 33 machine guns hung in there, and we held them off.
Fisk Hanley was shot down over Japan, held prisoner in Tokyo, and he was supposed to be executed. Then the U.S. decided to drop the most powerful bomb ever used in war.
So the atomic bomb stopped the war, saved all of us.
Lynn Dennis Morrow's dad died after the war, but he was in the Navy on one of those ships the Japanese bombed at Pearl Harbor. Today, she was in her dad's uniform in a tribute to him.
I can't stop crying. Every time I just get choked up every minute. I love these people.
The Gathering of Eagles event continues tomorrow at the Convention Center, and other weekend events include ships open to visitors at French Quarter wharves. The ships range from a vintage Coast Guard cutter to a new amphibious assault ship. And tomorrow you can see reenactments of the D-Days in the Pacific when the Marines had to storm beaches under enemy fire to defeat the Japanese. Opening ceremonies begin at 10 in the morning. You can find a complete list of the events on our website, WWL-TV.com.
The anniversary of Pearl Harbor Day was also observed in Hawaii. Several hundred survivors returned to the harbor to remember the more than 2,300 people who were killed. More than 1,100 sailors remain entombed in the USS Arizona on the ocean floor.
Overseas, now that the Taliban has given up its hold on Kandahar, the focus is on finding their leaders and terrorist Osama bin Laden.
American warplanes are pounding an area where they believe bin Laden is hiding, and U.S. forces are on the hunt for spiritual leader Mohammed Omar also. Jim Acosta reports.
Bullets are flying and Taliban fighters are fleeing. The radical regime has reportedly surrendered its last city, Kandahar, but its spiritual leader, Mullah Muhammad Omar, is missing.
I do not have reason to believe that Omar has in fact escaped Kandahar, nor have I seen information that he is still in Kandahar. So we simply don't know right now where Omar is.
So U.S. forces are working to wipe out potential escape routes. Off the coast of Pakistan, 100 Marines spent 8 hours searching this container ship for any al-Qaeda fighters, but found nothing.
To put it bluntly, we do not want the problem of al-Qaeda exported anywhere else.
In their first ground offensive since establishing their desert air base, Marines attacked a Taliban convoy outside Kandahar and killed 7 fighters. They may be on the run, but the Taliban are not dropping their weapons.
As long as these Taliban fighters have their weapons and represent a threat, it's a war. Yes, they will be engaged.
In eastern Afghanistan, fierce gun battles and heavy U.S. bombing are flushing some al-Qaeda loyalists out of their cave compound, Tora Bora. Anti-Taliban forces believe it is here where Osama bin Laden is still hiding. They've seen a tall man riding horseback and heard radio traffic about a man called the Sheikh. After some pressure from the U.S., Afghanistan's new prime minister is now promising to bring Omar to justice. The prime minister had said that Omar could go free if he denounced terrorism. Jim Acosta, CBS News, Washington.
A report from one Pakistani news service says both Omar and his spokesman are still in Kandahar, where rival factions are quarreling over control. Back at home, another public school student in St. Tammany Parish has come down with viral meningitis.
It's the fourth case reported since Thanksgiving, but doctors say there's no need for parents to panic. Northshore Bureau Chief Mike Ross explains.
The latest case involved a student at Woodlake Elementary School in Mandeville. A note went home to parents earlier this week advising that a child came down with viral meningitis over the weekend. It was the fourth case of the illness in the St. Tammany schools in 2 weeks. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, 3 students at Bonnie E. Cole Elementary in Slidell were diagnosed with viral meningitis. 10-year-old William Fleet of Hammond learned about meningitis the hard way. He caught it last summer and had to go to the hospital.
I woke up with this bad headache that I had, and I had a fever, and everything I drank, I threw it up and stuff.
The symptoms of viral meningitis include high fever, severe headache, stiff neck, nausea, and sensitivity to light. But nearly all people who get it